Let's look at it, shall we? Oh no, that's to Slack. We don't want that. We want... Oh, I wish you could see it a little better. Let me see if I can just pull it up really quick. Okay, so I've gotten a lot of interesting answers back from weekly reports in the past. And so I tried to make this like plug and chug as you can, because I don't know, I just gotten a lot of weird like hours answered, like of like what they did that week. And so I tried to make it so that you couldn't mess it up and I wouldn't have to follow up questions with you. Okay? Okay, so this will have, everyone will have like their little name on the Google Sheet down here. Okay, you'll find your name if you're a head coach. If you're an assistant coach, your head coach will do this for you, okay? You're gonna find your name, you're gonna click on it, and then you're gonna be like, oh, my middle school team. This is where I fill out my middle school team part, okay? Here is always where your scores are, so make sure you keep track of your scores for all your matches. There's a varsity and a JV, okay? You can't see this now, but you will later. These are little drop downs, okay? This is when I arrived, so it should be 3:15. We pay head coaches to be there 15 minutes early to start setting up and coordinating with the other coach. And then you're paid until you are cleaned up after the last match, okay? So you put in the times here. This is practice this week, and you can say, you can click on a box and be like, I was there 2 practices, or I was there 1, or I had something weird happen and I was late, and I'll explain it in the comments box. That's this checkbox here, okay? Same thing for elementary, okay? You'll fill this out every single week. There is your hours in attendance, so you can add everything up and you can put, I worked 5 hours and 30 minutes for my middle school, and I worked 3 hours and 30 minutes for my elementary, okay? So it should be really easy. I'll make a video and you can figure it out and it's fine. But this, you want to fill this out in order to get paid. If you have a drive that's over 15 minutes, you have travel compensation. You'll have this drive time box. And this is just to tell me how many times you drove out to your location that week. So say you went to practice Tuesday, Thursday, you went to a middle school match Friday, and then you went to your elementary match on Saturday. That's 4 drives out to Lehigh. I would click 4 right here. So then I know how much to pay you for your travel time, okay? And then if you leave a comment here, your coach rep will answer your question about it. Or you can just message them on Slack. Questions about weekly report? It looks like this, and you'll find your name at the bottom. And it'll be pretty similar. You also have practice this week. So you tell me about your week. If something horrible happened, you should probably like call me or Slack me. But if something just normal happened, you say what happened this week, and then you put your plan for next week, okay? So I know that you have a plan going into practice, and you're not just going to wing it. And then I know how practice went this week, and if you got rained out, or if you were late to practice, you got rained out, you had a makeup match that you had to have as a practice. So anything that happened that week, you tell me about it right there. Okay? Questions? Concerns? Yes.
So only the head coach.
Yeah, only the head coach fills this out. They'll fill it out for the assistants. So you'll actually have a box for them. There'll be a whole box for your assistant coach. And you'll put their hours in too. There's also a box for subbing if you subbed or if someone subbed for you. Okay, other questions? I'll have a video, so don't worry about it. Okay, we're getting to the end here of this meeting, which almost perfect timing. Okay, coach reps, if you want to stand up and come up over here, that would be super awesome. Yes. So, new this season. Good morning, everyone. Wake up. Okay, just spread out here. Okay, so sometime today, I haven't figured out when, Each of you is assigned a coach rep, okay? They're here to answer any questions that you have. They're the ones that are going to be bothering you if you didn't fill out your W-9 or your coach's contract or your safe sports certification. They're also the ones if you have a question or if you need help figuring something out, you don't know how to spread your team out so that, you know, they're not all going to be waiting 3 hours for their match. Or if you have any question, it goes to these guys, okay? I shouldn't get any questions. Okay, and if I do, I'm going to ignore it, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, I have a coach rep. And then you're going to message them instead. Okay, so this is Lisa right here. So if you're a Salt Lake coach, she's going to be helping out with all the Salt Lake, and Rob, because you guys are new. I think we'll go over individually who's in charge of who in a second here. But this is Kevin. Why don't you introduce yourselves and tell you what team you do?
Right now I'll have the Alta region, Alta High School region, and a red ball at Riverton. And,
nice. Yeah. Perfect. And Lisa's awesome. Okay, Kevin.
I coach American Fork middle school and elementary school boys teams.
Yeah, go for it, Beth.
My name's Nate. I have a Lehigh High School girls team and a middle school boys team.
My name's Aaron. I coach at Mountain Ridge for both junior high and elementary girls.
My name's Heber and I teach the Nebo Middle School boys and AF High School girls.
And I'm Michael, and I do the Dixon Middle and elementary boys.
And we're missing, oh, Anna is over there somewhere. She's also our admin team member, but she does Centennial boys with Matt. Okay, cool. Okay, we're gonna give you wait, does anyone have any questions? We went over a lot of things. You need to read through the coach's handbook, even if you've read it before, because you need a refresher. So make sure you read through this. Your coach reps are gonna ask you if you've read through it, and you have to sign your name away saying that you did. Okay? Okay. Everything we've been over is on here. All the links to things I've talked about are on here. So like the coach website, the Slack slideshow, like all of that's in here. Okay? And then if you have lingering questions about the training meetings or anything that happens today, these guys are going to be your best friend. Okay, let's break for 5. Oh, I might need the lights. You just be light guy, okay? Okay. Very first, we're going to go over coach reps, okay? I need the lights back on. Sorry, yeah, okay. Okay, new this season, we have coach reps, okay? So if you look around you, this isn't even everyone I hired, okay? We have 90 plus coaches, and I don't have enough time in the day to answer 41 messages every hour, okay? So we have coach reps who are going to help you guys throughout the season, okay? With that being said, any questions that you would normally ask me, you will now ask your coach rep, okay? So very first, we're going to introduce you to them, and we're going to let you know who is your coach rep, okay? So let's start with Anna. So everyone turn and look at Anna. She's in the red coat, very beautiful. She does the Centennial boys, middle school and elementary. Okay. So listen for your name. This is who Anna is in charge of, okay? So Kiana, Laughlin, Matt Ensign, Jason Wright, Caitlin Holman, Ashley Cronin, Alexa Smith, Hunter Rentz, Peter Sloan, Kyle Carlson, Ashley Wilson, Ryan Squires. Okay, so there's Anna. You can look for her or ask her questions whenever you want. It's Anna Sherrill. So when you're looking on Slack, look for Anna Sherrill and you can bother her. Okay, she's the new Megan Day. Okay, just kidding. Okay, and then we have Ann. So stand up, Ann. I know you don't want to. Okay, so she does our Mountain Ridge girls team for middle school and elementary. She's going to be in charge of Quinn Anderson, Hannah Fleming, Ruby Russell, Grace Jensen, Haley Hill, Ashley Wilson, Brianna Millward, Ava Zhao, Liberty Hardy, Delaney Roper, Sam Howard, Audrey Weiner. Okay? Woo! Okay, next one. Okay, and then Bethany. So stand up right there. So she's doing our Oak Canyon Middle School boys. And she's in charge of Sarah Barnett, Lauren Brown, Daniel Wilcox, Caleb Larkin, Olivia Barris, Grace Sparty, and Camilla Villarreal. I butchered that last name, but it's okay. You know who you are. Okay. Then we have Heber. Heber, stand up. Heber looks really good in his sling. Okay. Heber has Hannah Smith, Rebecca Little, Zoe Fisher, Jake Francis, Afton Gustafson. Sorry, I butchered that one. Sally Otterstrom, and Crystal Masbernat. Okay? Okay. And then we have Kevin. Where are you? Oh, I was like, where's Kevin? There's Kevin. He does our American Fork boys, middle school and elementary. He has Hunter Gibbons, Oliver Smith, Hiram Priest, Elise Nielsen, Zoe Black, Mia Black, Claire Perkins, Macy McCann, Caitlin Cunningham, Cadence Cunningham, and Ashton Bishop. Okay? So remember your coach rep. Okay? Okay. Or they can come find you later. Okay. And then, so Lisa... Okay, Lisa, yeah, she's in charge of all of our Salt Lake. So Cassie Kidd, Riley Smith, Julie Kellerman, Lopi Finau, Jessica Mangum, and Matt, wherever you are too. Or any Salt Lake Middle School team that if I didn't call you. Oh, Trent, that's you too, wherever you are. There's too many faces, I don't know where you are. Okay, Trent, you're over there. Okay, Michael, stand up, Michael. Michael's been here forever, he's ancient. An ancient Utah youth tennis person. Okay, so he has Justin Allen, Marianne Chambers, Katie Chambers, Christy Davidson, Mark Lindsay, Sydney Hill, Gracie Wilcox, Abby Davidson, Connor Phillips. Okay, and then our last one, Nate. Nate, okay, he has Asher Williams, Qua, a last name that I'm not going to try. Carter Nielsen, Roxy Mawerman, Alan Otterstrom, Emmy Sheets, Andrew Sheets, Megan Minier, Venice Boyd, Avery Taylor. And then at the end, if your name hasn't been called, don't worry about it. Go find, is Sage in here? Yeah. Okay, Sage. Woo, you're not a coach rep, but go find Sage when you don't have a coach rep, okay? Okay. And let her know and have her write your name down so I know that you didn't get called, okay? Okay, so if you are an assistant coach, you ask questions to your head coach, okay? You don't really need your coach rep unless your head coach doesn't know the answer, okay? So if you have problems, assistant coaches, you go to your head coach, okay? Head coach, if you get a question that you're like, I have no idea, you go to your coach rep. Yes, Claire? You will meet them on the first day of practice or today at training. Probably today at training. Okay, other questions? Okay, we're just going to keep rolling. Okay, for head coaches, your coach rep is your contact for weather. So we always need at least 2 people to sign off before you decide to cancel practice. The 2 people being you and your coach rep. So if it is raining and it is wet, you say, coach rep, can I cancel? They say yes. And they go like this. And that's the whole thing. Okay, if it's not raining though, let's go over a little bit of policy here. So if it is raining and it is wet and it doesn't look like it's going to stop raining an hour before practice, you can cancel. Okay? Or if it looks wet and it's been wet all day and it says 100% chance of rain the whole day, you can cancel. As long as you get your coach rep's permission. Okay? If it hasn't started raining and it only says like something less than 100% and the courts are not wet yet, you cannot cancel an hour before, okay? And you are going to hold practice all the way up until the courts are wet, okay? So if halfway through practice you get rained out, all of a sudden you just go find shelter and play some weird get-to-know-you games until the parents pick them up or it's the end of practice. Any questions? If you have questions, you can look on the coach's website about our rain protocol, or you can ask your coach rep. Yes, Lisa?
Usually, too, like if you're not in the near vicinity of your courts, if you put it on Slack if there's some parent that's driving by, or will check for you.
Yes, that's
So
true.
It's kind of nice that way, especially the coaches that drive a long way.
Yes, use your parents.
Get a parent or two that you know will help.
Yeah.
On that.
For sure. Or if you have other coaches in the same location as you, like if you're a Lehigh coach and there's another Lehigh coach, you can be like, hey, what's the weather at your place? You know, however you want to do it. Okay, if you sub new policy this year, you need to get it checked off a week in advance with your coach rep, okay? That's just so we know that practices and matches are actually being covered, okay? If you need help finding subs, you can go to your coach rep. We're also going to have the whole list of all the coaches and who you can ask posted on the coach's website and everything. But it does need to be a week in advance, and it does need to be approved by coach rep. They're probably never going to say no. They just need to know that you have it covered. Okay? Questions about subbing? Cool. If you leave a question in the weekly report, it's no longer me who's going to be answering it. It's your coach rep. So if you want to fast track it, just Slack your coach rep. Okay. They're also going to check in weekly with you to see how you're doing, to see if you need more equipment, to see if you need help, to see if you've had problems. Just general normal things. Any questions about coach reps? Okay, cool. Moving on. Now we can hit the lights again. You might not be able to see some of this, and I might be in your way, or the garbage can might be in the way. But these are the important dates we have coming up, okay? Next week, head coaches, you will be getting rosters for your teams. You will be getting added to Slack for your teams, and your parents will be added to Slack. You need to make sure that you send out your first email to coaches when you get your roster, not to coaches, to parents when you get your roster, okay? There's a template that you can use. The most important thing is you want to let them know that this is your last email. Okay, this is the only email you're going to be sending, and you're going to be using Slack from then on, okay? If you have parents who are struggling with Slack, figuring out how to get logged on or how to use it or anything like that, one thing I'd have them do first is ask their 14-year-old to take their phone and get them logged on. The second thing I would have them do is watch the videos that I made specifically for parents. There's 3 of them. There's a bunch for coaches, but then I also made 3 for parents, okay? So you can use those. March 5th. It's in the handbook, too. Everything's in the handbook. Check the handbook out.
The parent handbook?
Oh. I can't remember. I'll check.
So is texting to parents prohibited then?
I don't know about prohibited, but I don't know why you would want to after using Slack. It's just a lot easier to...
You can DM in Slack too.
Yeah, you can
Send a direct
DM.
message to one parent.
And you can make phone calls on Slack too. So you can do everything you can with text as you can on Slack. It's just Slack, you have more uses. I think if you go through the slides and then you just get a little practice with it, you're going to end up liking Slack more, especially with the amount of information you're transferring between you and parents. It's a lot easier than email or text. Okay. March 5th, red ball and adult lessons start. So if you're red ball or adult, that's this next Saturday. Okay, so put those on your calendars. It goes to the end of May. Well, not the end of May, May 21st, okay? Middle school practices and high school practices start March 7th and 8th. So if you start on Mondays, your first day will be the 7th. If you practice on Tuesday, Thursdays, yours will be the 8th. Elementary starts 1 week later, so March 14th and 15th, okay? That first week of practice, remember, you have 2 practices and then an inter-team match, okay? So your first week, March 7th, you'll have 2 middle school practices, inter-team match. The next week, you'll have your middle school and elementary practices, and then you'll have your first official middle school match plus your elementary inter-team match, okay? Spring break is different for Salt Lake, but for Utah County, it's April 4th through 9th. So there's no tennis this week unless you get rained out and you want to use this as your, what do you call it? Makeup day. I couldn't think of the word, sorry. Pregnant. Okay. Yes, so that's April 4th through 9th. And then April 23rd through the 30th is your end of season tournaments. And red ball and adult lessons end May 21st. Okay?
Do red ball lessons also do spring break? Like, do they not have lessons?
They still have lessons on spring break weeks. Good question. Okay, new this season as well is our coach's website. So we're actually going to go to it right now. If you have not been looking through this yet, make sure you hop on. I think this is my editable one. Hold on as I get to the real one. Watch me just struggle on my laptop here. Okay, so this is going to be your best friend throughout the season. If you can't get information from your coach rep, which you should be able to get information from them, you can also hop here. Okay, you probably can't see it very well, but this is going to be updated pretty regularly, the homepage of things going on this week. So right now it says, before the season starts, make sure to, and there's your W-9, your coach's contract, safe play certification, and the coach's handbook, training meetings. So when we move into next week, this will change to what you should be doing first week of practices, okay? And this will just update throughout the season. You can check here. This will probably be easier than checking Slack. Reason we made this is we got a suggestion for it from one of the coaches, and I thought it was a good idea. So this is going to be your biggest resource throughout the season, okay? You also probably can't see it because it's a little blurry, but there's a season schedule here. So it goes through February, March, and April, okay? Green days, oh, you can't even see the green days. Well, these are a light green. That's regular season, and these are end of season tournament days. And then you have like everything split up so you can kind of see where you are in the season. Templates, any template on the coach's handbook is also on the website. So if you need help writing your first email, that's where this is going to be. If you need help figuring out team ladder, or you need to figure out when to tell your players to come to their match, say you want varsity to come at 3:30 and everyone else to come at 4, there's templates for that on here. There's templates for pretty much everything. If you need extra help with Slack, there's a Slack channel. This is probably going to be the one that you want to use the most. This has practice help. So your practices are an hour and a half long for middle school, hour for orange ball. We have, so if you were here at training yesterday, Lori talked about the USTA training stuff, and it's on here. So yellow ball, red ball, and I don't know if green ball is on here, but orange ball is. All of their lesson plans and drill ideas are on here. Rob's YouTube videos are on here. My YouTube videos are on here. And the stuff we use over the summer, like our summer lesson plans and ideas, are also on here. So if you need help just structuring your lesson, or you need practice ideas, drill ideas, things to do, this is the place to go. We talked about subbing and working with your coach rep before. If you need help subbing, go to this page. Ultimately, you are in charge of finding your own subs, though, okay? It's not anyone else's job to find you a sub, so make sure you look early because you need to have it checked off with your coach rep a week in advance, okay? So, and that's not because we're being mean, that's just because we want to know things are being covered. We also have the admin team. That's Rob and his wife, and that's me. I'm excited because I just won something, so it's fine. Okay.
Is Alexa here?
No, not today.
Alexa Smith, she runs customer support, so she might be forwarding things to you. You get an email from Alexa Smith or from our youthtennis@gmail.com. That's her.
Yes. I guess who else is on here? We also have, so besides the coach reps, so Anna's assistant director, Sage does all the tournament stuff, so when the end of season tournaments roll around, you'll probably getting lots of information from her, and then Ashley does our social media account.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Go follow Instagram, Facebook if you haven't.
Yeah, follow. And if you have cool pictures, okay, here's a plug for the season. If you have cool things to take pictures of, please take pictures of them and send them. We have, actually, I'm going to pull it up. So we actually have a photos from the season channel. So if you have a cool picture, please share it. This is actually, you can't see it very well, but this is me and a bunch of Utah youth tennis coaches. We played in a tournament, and I actually made a team of just Utah youth tennis coaches, and we did pretty good, and it was really fun. So anyways, but we also have just like, there's Kevin and Quinn. And then we have a bunch of team pictures. So don't forget to take some team pictures.
Yeah, can I say something really fast?
Yeah.
If everybody, we do like coach highlights on the Instagram. So if you're a head coach, come see me at the end so I can take a picture of you with your racket. Or we can take a picture later. But I'm out of coach highlights, so I need one.
Or if you have a super awesome picture already of yourself and you're like, I'd like to share this with the world. Okay. Also new this season on Slack is there's a sub channel. I got sick and tired of seeing it on the general channel. So there's a sub channel. So if everything else fails and you can't find a sub, you can go here to the sub channel. Okay. And then we also have coaching. Oh, that's not it. Coaching tips. Okay. So every week, the coach reps and some other coaches that have been around for a few seasons are going to be putting up coaching tips. Okay. So you can get ideas of what you can do for practice or, how you can use your parents better. Yes. Lots of things. Okay.
Everyone should have been added to those already, so if you're not, make sure you check and let your coach rep know, that way they can add you, because you're not going to get notifications if you're not in the group, so.
Yes. Make sure you're added. Any questions about website, coach reps? I don't know. Anything? Okay. We're rolling. Oh, we went over this. Oh, that's me again. I won that tournament, everyone. Be proud of me. Okay. We went over all these things. Let's see. Season calendar, templates. Yeah. So these are all the things that are on the website. Hold on. I want to check some things before I go to injury protocol. 1 second, everybody, while I taco this. Okay, remember, you need to send out your first email after you get your roster to your parents, introducing yourself, letting them know that we only use Slack, and you want to tell them when and where first practice is. Okay. The inter-team match, you should know how they work, and if you don't, you should have been here at the meeting beforehand. But if not, we'll have a meeting later after this that they can explain a little bit more about the inter-team match. Okay, the season schedule will probably come second week of practice. Okay, as we work on those, is it second week practice? Somewhere around there, you'll get the match schedule. I do want to go over coach rules and parents. 1 second. Okay, so real quick, I'm just going to read through some coaching rules just so we review. So never be alone with a player, never transport players in your car. The only exception is like if you have a son on the team or like a family member, that would be the exception. Other than that, no transporting other players in your car. Never engage in any inappropriate behavior with a player or behavior that could be interpreted as inappropriate. Never engage in private conversations with players through email, text, or social media. You only have the parents' contact information for a reason. This excludes high school. High school, you can have their information, but you usually want to message them in like a group chat. Okay. Never use drugs, tobacco, or alcohol near players, the courts, the school, or at all during practices and matches. During practices, you are responsible for your players. Always know where they are and never let them leave practice facility without permission. Protect your kids, protect yourself, protect the UYT organization. A little thing about phones. Phones are not allowed to be used during practice or matches except for work-related activities. So if you have like your lesson plan on there, or if you're videoing, like you want to, like someone has some weird technique and you want to adjust it a little bit. If you're taking pictures for Utah Youth Tennis, like those are acceptable. Anything but like you're texting your boyfriend, probably not. Don't do that one. And this rule applies to head coaches and assistant coaches, okay? So no phones unless it's Utah Youth Tennis related, okay? Questions about coach rules? Yes.
I have a question about pictures. So if you're
Oh.
taking pictures of kids, do they have to have like a waiver?
They filled one out when they registered. So any picture you take is okay. Am I right on that?
Yeah, if it's like within the purview of UYT, like at practice or
Yeah.
can't just go to their house and like.
Please don't go to their house and take Okay, yes, good question. Yes. So when they signed up, they signed a waiver and stuff. So yes, you can take pictures like during practice or during matches, a team picture, or even at like the team party, you can take pictures of like the group and stuff. Okay. Real quick, we're gonna review about parents and communication, because every season these are always topics that come up. So parents are there as spectators. They are not there as coaches, okay? So they should not be on the court unless it's like the very first match and you have beginners that have no clue what they're doing and they just need help on scores. But you shouldn't have parents being like line judges or like coaches. That's your job. Parents are just there to spectate. So if at your first parent meeting, when you meet everybody that very first day, just kind of let them know the expectations, like you guys are going to be awesome spectators, but like leave the coaching to coaches, kind of a thing.
Speaking of coaching, at UYT we have there's no rules about when you can or can't coach. You don't have to wait for a changeover to talk to your player. As long as the match flow just keeps going, 20 seconds between points, 90 seconds in changeovers, you can talk to your player at any stoppage time. So in high school at UHSAA, there's rules where the coach can only coach on changeovers, right, or between sets. That doesn't apply here. We encourage you to give feedback often and frequently.
Yes. Feel free to just get in there. I feel like it takes a little better for like the players as well. If like you see something you notice and you're like, try split stepping, like because they didn't. I don't know. It just works a little better when you're like right hands on with them. And actually, the parents like to see it too. They really like when you're being an active coach. So if you like are on the court and you're saying coaching things to them throughout, they feel like you really like their player. Okay.
Exception is no coaching during a point.
Yeah.
Like, now.
That might be a little distracting. That being said, though, but you can use parents as like volunteers. Like if you have a really large team and a parent volunteers to help out at practice, that's totally okay. They do have to be within line of sight of you during practice, unless they get a background check. So if you don't want to worry about keeping them in sight of line of you, that didn't make sense, whatever. You can have them do the safe play certification that you did, and then you won't have to worry about that, okay? You can also have them set up like snacks. Like if you have parents that really want to be involved, you can have them set up a little snack schedule for all your matches during the week. Anything like that is good. We just want to probably keep them away from coaching though. Okay. I feel like there was one other thing. Really make sure you read through the coach's handbook again. Even if you have coached before, there's a lot of stuff in here that is important. If you, especially for match scoring, for middle school, elementary, and high school, they're all a little bit different, and the way the matches are set up. So if you have 3 different sets of teams, make sure you review those so that when you go to your first match, you're not confused. Okay? Any questions about coaching rules, parents, coaching? Okay. There was one other thing. So on first day of practice, I did want to mention you want to take roll. If anyone is not on your roster, it doesn't matter. Just get their name and their contact info for their parents and send it over to Alexa Smith, and they can help them get registered. Okay? But you do want to mark people here or not here so you know who's actually registered and who's not registered. Okay? Now we will keep going here. Do you want to go over injury stuff?
Also in the coach's handbook, there's some really helpful checklists.
Oh, yeah.
So like, what do I need to have done before the season starts? And there's a few checkpoints, right? And what first week objectives, there's some checkpoints, checklist items. That's all super helpful. That's in the coach's handbook.
Which will also be on the coach's
On
website.
the coach's website, which you're all going to favorite and put in your browser, and it's going to be your go-to throughout the season. Okay, emergency protocol.
I don't know if you need that, but there's also
Yeah.
that. I'm in the way. I'm going to sit down for a second.
We've
Yes? Oh, wait.
thanks
For reminding me.
Okay, emergency protocol. We don't have emergencies very often, but I'm required to go over this for insurance and liability purposes. So 3 different levels of emergency incidents. Level 3, we have life-threatening. Okay, examples of life-threatening are things that can kill you. Okay, so if a kid gets struck by lightning, or goes into cardiac arrest, or has a serious allergic reaction, these are things that would qualify as level 3 injury. So if a level 3, which has never happened before but totally could because it's happened other places, what's the step number 1? No, that's step number 2. Step number 1, assess the situation. Okay? Assess the situation. Make sure nobody else is in immediate danger. Okay? And only move the injured player if it's necessary to prevent further serious injury. Okay? Step number 1, assess the situation. Okay? If there's a rattlesnake that comes onto the court and bites a kid, make sure everyone else is safe first before you call 911. Okay? A kid got bit. Another kid just got bit too. Oh, another kid. Okay. Step number 2, call 911. Okay? Or assign someone to call 911. Don't yell out, someone call 911, because what happens? Everyone assumes someone else is calling 911. Okay? Either you do it yourself or you look at someone and say, call 911. Okay? Or contact your coach rep. No, don't do that. Call 911. Okay. Let's go. Step number 2. Step number 3. If you have been CPR/first aid certified, you can then begin CPR or first aid as necessary. If you have not been certified, then the position is you cannot do CPR or first aid on that child. That's our rule. If you do, you're now on your own, right? And if anything bad happens because you butchered it, that's on you. Because our official policy is you cannot, unless you're certified. If you want to get certified, we will reimburse you to go get certified. It's not required to be a coach here. You don't have to be certified, but if you want to, we will reimburse you. If you're not certified and this kid needs CPR or first aid,